Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master. I am here with my brother as we play Merfolk in Modern. It's putting up tons of results. Benthic Biomancer is here to stay. He's been put through the test and he is showing up in all of the competitive Modern results. So if you want to see Merfolk going forward with this card, doing really well, Merfolk is here to stay. It's doing well in the current modern metagame. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Before we get into our deck tech, we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. And the Spike Feeders are offering the premier competitive Commander content. You want to check them out on themanabase.com. Your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And I have new patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for deeming it very valuable to your own gameplay and your own victories. So I would like to thank very much to Mr. Sad. I'm going to thank Lucas, Kyle Mullenkamp, Steven, Mike Mahales. I'm going to thank Rene Botchoffner for editing their pledge and raising it on Patreon. I'm going to also thank Sam Goldman for doing the same thing, and also Bartosz Gabbies, who also raised their pledge on Patreon. And lastly, I'm going to thank Unwitty Banter, all of you for supporting the channel on Patreon. Thank you very much. So now we get into the deck. I have not been playing at all because the university is starting to crank up and I got to get to work. But I have been following all the results that have been published for Modern. And Benthic Biomancer is... I won't want to say he's like really well positioned, but he's well positioned against the meta. Like there's no predatory cards. At first, I really wanted to get rid of this thing for Curse Catcher because I kept losing to decks like Burn and Dredge, and I mean those were the only games that I've been really losing to. But I sort of realized that it's probably because the deck is just too clunky, and I just got to make it less clunky. Put in more 1-drops, and that's what we're seeing here. A lot of the winning lists are playing with like 2 Mistcaller in the spot or 2 Spell Pierce. But if we really look at the metagame, a lot of the winning lists, especially in open tournaments, the decks that are performing really well are Burn, Grixis Death Shadow, and Blue-White Control. Those are 3 really big decks right now. They're all over the place. And one card that is very good against all 3 of those are Deprive. Deprive is very good. And I have to say that while Curse Catcher is probably like a little bit better against Burn, Curse Catcher is a lot worse against Grixis Death Shadow and especially Blue-White Control, so Benthic Biomancer gets a huge plus there. And there's not really like there's a little bit of Dredge around. I think you have to be a little scared of Dredge in an open tournament. You will play against something like that. And there is It Phoenix, but I think Deprive or Wizard's Retort is going to do very well in those slots. If you want my opinion, what's the difference between Deprive and Wizard's Retort? I think Deprive punishes you less if the game is going to go very, very long. I'm not entirely sure. They're very, very similar. But if the game is going to go long against, like, say, Blue-White Control, there's a lot of situations where I'm going to want to tap out and play like a Lord and hold up Deprive, whereas I can't do that with Wizard's Retort. But Wizard's Retort, I think, is also a very playable counterspell. It's got a million published results as well, so I really don't have anything bad to say about it. But I will be running Deprive in this league. So with that in mind, with like Burn and Grixis Death Shadow and Blue-White Control being at the forefront of a lot of results, and there's also a decent chunk of black-green stuff. And Is It Phoenix? Is It Phoenix is still out. And honestly, I don't think Curse Catcher is very good against Is It Phoenix. It doesn't really matter. Even if you counter something, they're still getting value off of the spell being cast, as if it were against, they have Thing in the Ice or an Arclight Phoenix in the graveyard. Countering the spell doesn't really matter. Interacting with the creatures on the board actually matters. And that's some like bonus you could give like to Benthic Biomancer. Like you could adapt the damn thing, then they flip Thing in the Ice, bounce it back to your hand. You can do it all over again if you want. So there's that bonus to Benthic Biomancer. But I really like the main deck counterspells. The main deck counterspells look really... Whoops, we're going to skip this version. Remind me later. I really like the main deck counter spells in this metagame. It's a bit weird though, because Merfolk is doing really, really well, but I don't see the same results for humans and Bant Spirits in the open events at the moment. It might be because the much better players are siphoned off to MTG Arena, and they were the ones piloting Bant Spirits. I don't know why Merfolk is here and Bant Spirits and humans are not sharing equally in results. I mean, they're still showing up in 5-0 leagues, but I'm not seeing them in the modern challenges or as heavily in, well, I mean, in other open events. I don't see Merfolk at all. But we're going to change that. We're in the modern challenge today. We're in the modern challenge. We're going to get more published results at the forefront of competitive Magic. But I really like the main deck counter spells. And it's also, if you also think about Burn, Blue-White Control, Grixis, Death Shadow, I really want to move 2 of these to the sideboard, and I probably will for future episodes, but I don't want to experiment too much in this one. I really just want to model the type of deck that is doing very well. There are slight variations on this, and congratulations to everyone who's making published results with these variations, like some Mistcallers in the main instead of the Spell Pierce, Wizard's Retort instead of Deprive, and then there's a little bit of variations in the sideboard. Something I'm pretty against is the Spellskites. There's a lot of people playing Spellskite in this slot, and I'm going to play with Chalice of the Void. I don't think Spellskite... You could say Spellskite is a little bit better than Chalice against Burn. Maybe that's true, because I'm not super in love with Chalice of the Void anymore against Burn, especially since now they're playing with Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics. But it's still going to be a very, very strong card, especially if you can get it on 2. Then they can't even smash to smithereens the thing away. But the thing about Infect and Boggles, which is a reason a lot of people want to bring in Spellskite, they're bringing all the answers to Spellskite. I mean, if Spellskite was just a one card win condition, then those decks would be completely dead, but they're not. Well, maybe Boggles is dead, but they're bringing in the tools. Their sideboards are full of cards, like things like Nature's Claim, for example, coming out of like Infect, and they're going to bring them in because we play with Aethervel and we play with Spreading Seas, so they're going to be bringing in cards like Nature's Claim. They're bringing in Dismember, but if you play with Chalice of the Void on 1, then all those cards don't matter. If Boggles brings in Path Exile and Dismember, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hit the Chalice of the Void, but they do hit the Spellskite, and they can go about their game anyway. So that's why I have a huge... I like Chalice of the Void much more than Spellskite against all those decks. And you can bring in Chalice of the Void in against Storm, and you can bring it in against Tron. And because we're playing with less Tectonic Edges, you might want to bring it in against Tron. I don't mind the Cavern of Souls. There are a decent chunk of prison decks out right now, including the Whir deck, which will play with what's it called? Which plays Chalice of the Void themselves. And the one of Cavern of Souls looks nice. It looks nice. It looks quite... But like, I think one thing that makes Merfolk really well positioned is it looks like the metagame's somewhat slowing down. Aside from Izzet Phoenix and Burn, there's a bunch of slower decks in the metagame. The Black-Green XX, the Grixis decks, and the Control decks. Not super insane crazy. I don't know what created that shift, but that's what it sort of looks like. In the sideboard, I have 3 Hurkyl's Recalls because I really don't want to lose to Affinity. I really hate Hardened Scales Affinity and regular Affinity. Anything else? I'm still playing with 3 Harbingers over... like most of the lists are playing with 4 Tricksters, 2 Harbinger. And you know what? The only reason I lose to Izzet Phoenix is because of Thing in the Ice. It flips. And it's not the flipping that is not the biggest deal, but the 7/8 creature that keeps attacking me every single turn, that's a big deal. And I just want Harbingers so I can bounce the damn thing.
At least it doesn't have Vigilance.
At least it doesn't have Vigilance, yes.
They could have given it back.
Harbinger would be way worse. But the point being, I think Harbinger is much better against Izzet Phoenix and Grixis Death Shadow, even though I know Merfolk Trickster overall is a little bit better against everything else. So my one main concern about this shell, which I don't know, to some degree is getting disproven, is that we've got only 12 powerful cards in the deck, 4 Master of Waves, 4 Master of the Pearl Trident, and 4 Lord of Atlantis. And traditionally, that's not been enough. It's not been enough to like push through damage against decks like Spirits or Humans or anything that you really want to race. So this is much more controlling, which I'm fine with. But, you know, I don't know how we're going to be pushing through damage. Like, that was the point of, like, the 2 Mirror Reedry or the 2 Phantasmal Image in the deck. It was just enough, just enough power in the deck so that we can close out games against the decks that we need to. And this is taking a much more controlling route, which I like. I love it. But I don't know how well it's going to perform against the other creature-based decks, which maybe can give a nod to, like, Merfolk Trickster. That can tap things down and push through damage. And we can't deny that Benthic Biomancer does get a little bit bigger, so it can push through in a little bit more damage than the deck normally would. But Benthic Biomancer is here to stay. There's really not enough decks in the metagame to warrant main deck Mistcaller or Curse Catcher. So this is Benthic Biomancer's time to shine. Yeah, so this is the deck, so I will see you in round 1. So we lost the die roll. I'm going to keep this hand. It's not exactly pleasant to have Deprive on the draw like this, but, you know, whatever. I guess one huge bonus with Deprive is you can, like, hold up 2 blue mana, and we can either Deprive something or play Merfolk Trickster. Well, this hand is... yeah, this hand will be very good. I would love it if Tron can just brick on a turn, because...
Slow him down.
I would like to play something. I'd like to put some pressure in play while we have these Deprives up. No, that's not happening. Ballista on 1. Okay.
Useless.
Well, not useless. So, I don't know if... I'm assuming this is Tron, but it could be Eldrazi Tron. So we have to... Sorry, no. Yeah, it could be Eldrazi Tron. So we have to deal with this. So let's do that. But the problem is they can just play 4 lands and start pumping it up. But hopefully we get to a point where we can play Lord of Atlantis.
Another one.
Oh, we got a lot of Deprives. No, they still went off. Oblivion Stone. Okay.
That would blow up his ballista, though.
It would, but not before getting a lot of value out of it. Well, with that, at least I can play... It's a bit complicated. It's definitely a little bit complicated. I'm just... If they play a land, then they can shoot down the Lord of Atlantis. Okay, so I'm thinking, if we pass and they just play a land, they can pump up Ballista, and then it will be really hard. Then we can play Lord of Atlantis, but then they can pump up the Ballista again, shoot it down, still attack for 1. And, well, but then we play another Lord of Atlantis. Like, these bribes are not very good right now.
He could tap out big for something next turn.
Okay, I think we're just going to pass. I'm going to play a little greedy right now. At the very least, we can play Silvergill Adept with Deprive backup. Yeah, maybe they'll play something greedy. They do have their 4th land, but no Tron. Island? Okay, that's good. I do like the island.
You play with 14 of them.
I do. So we can play Lord of Atlantis with Deprive backup. And they can pump up the Walking Ballista, and then pump it up again on their turn. But whatever. But it is a danger, I guess, that they reach Tron. Oh, they can put a counter on the Ballista instead. Then blow everything up, and then they'll have like 1,000,000 mana. Well, this board state's just not very good.
It'll get better.
I don't know about that.
He still has to draw creatures.
First time ever playing in a challenge for me.
Well, I hope it's not too challenging for you.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too challenging. Yeah, put a fate counter. So now Walking Ballista is invincible to the Oblivion Stone.
That's lame.
And then when they wipe the Spreading Seas off the board... How do you get rid of this Ballista? I need a Harbinger. Or maybe, would a Trickster help? Maybe. So you can activate, keep this thing alive. Like, whatever, attack.
This is where that Stifle card would be hot.
Oh yeah, it would. It'd be a complete blowout.
Bonk. There you go.
I'm in a really bad spot here. I'm like in a terrible spot here because they don't even need to activate the Oblivion Stone. They could just keep putting a counter on this thing every single turn and put a lot of pressure on me.
It's only hitting you for 1 though.
And then if I empty my lords, then I have no more lords to protect against this future walking this Ballista in the future, and they're gonna have so much mana.
You got all the deprives in the world.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. All these are activated abilities. I wasn't able to counter the thing that I needed to counter. I tapped out once for Spreading Season. All these deprives went to crap. Okay, let's pass it to them. If they put another fake counter, fine. Let them use their mana on fake counters. I mean, not fake counters. Let them use their mana putting counters on Walking Ballista. Okay, so they are going to destroy everything. I can live with that. How much mana do they have? They have a ton.
Deprives for days though.
Yeah, but I can't deal with this thing. That's really ugly. Well, we're going to save one of the... Well, here's going to be a bonus to deprive over... what's it called?
What?
Wizard's Retort. I get to save one of these. And I guess the card we're going to save Islands because we need the Islands. Mutavault's not a big deal because they can just Ghost Quarter it. Or is it a big deal? Do I want... Yeah, I want the Islands because I want to play Lord of Atlantis.
No.
I could play 2 Deprives, actually. That would be hilarious. Okay, so we get hit for 1. So what would be good here?
Harbinger.
I don't know. Spreading Seas? Harbinger wouldn't be too bad. Activation is 4. They've got a lot of mana. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Card draw for Silvergill.
I guess it'll eat up some of their mana, but this is not where I want to be. On top of that, I'm showing them that I have a 2-drop in hand when I have all these deprives. So when I like pass the turn, it's gonna be like, well, I wonder what he got. The way we've got all these main deck deprives, though, should be very good in this matchup. We unfortunately just had a clunky... We were on the draw. If we were on the play, this would be totally over. There's no way in hell we would do poorly in this game. Well, at least we're getting some use out of these cards.
No.
So put a counter on it, kill our Silvergill Adept.
Okay, good.
And the problem is, even if I Spreading see something, it doesn't really matter. They can still put a counter on it every turn. Okay, that's not bad. If I play Lord of Atlantis, it helps protect against Walking Ballista, but it protects against nothing else that's going to get cast. But can we beat the Walking... Like, our opponent didn't even play a land last turn, so they have to have more spells to cast.
Yep.
Alright. So 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. With 3 counters on this thing. But we can't beat anything that resolves either. Maybe it's just correct to put 2 Lord of Atlantis out, because I can't beat the board. I'm just sort of stalling for time. Like, who knows what's in his hand? Or their hand. World Breaker. At least they're tapping out quite a bit for this. And again, we get to save our land. You know what? We're seeing a lot of power out of, like, the Deprive. We saved 2 lands. Another Oblivion Stone. Well, now maybe we can get on the counteroffensive. Because I can play another Deprive. I can play Lord of Atlantis, so we can start attacking. And now if they want to put a Fate counter on the Walking Ballista, it's going to be like sort of late. So at least the board will get wiped. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I want. Wipe the board! No. No, no, no.
He's got to be furious now.
I hope so. And here, well, yeah. Is that all the Deprives? It's all the Deprives. You can't even, like... Well, the Spell Pierce sucks. Spell Pierce is no good right now.
You still got him. You never know.
That's not bad to rebuild the board. But our opponent's hand is still full of gas. So something is just going to resolve and kill us, I guess.
Are you playing with Phantasmal Image?
No Phantasmal Image. So I could cycle the Silvergill Adept. I sort of want to do it if they have like another Karn. I'll hate it if what's it called? I need to encourage them to blow up this Oblivion Stone. If they don't, then they just keep playing like gigantic creatures. It's gigantic cards. Like I can't just like attack with these Lord of Atlantises and just pass. Oh, they can put a Fate counter on this thing. I miscounted how much mana they had. Urza's Tower taps for 3.
Yeah, and they have all the others.
But still doesn't matter. I still need to encourage this Oblivion Stone to pop. Although this Master of Waves is very bad on this board. Alright, we're dead. We're just stone dead. Tron casting 6+ CMC spells every turn. Well, actually, really, it's the Oblivion Stones that killed us. They got underneath. Oh, come on! I needed you like a million years ago. So...
It's not useful, so you can tap down that Worm Coil.
Pass. Yeah, I guess. Really don't know how we win. This Walking Ballista was just a beating. And the 2 Oblivion Stones. Okay, we're going to let them attack. And I'm going to try to hit the Ballista, as far as I'm concerned. If we can get hit by this stupid Worm Coil engine. So how many times they can pump it up? More than once. I guess this isn't going to work as I wanted it to. So I guess I just forced them to use all their mana to pump up the Ballista. Whoa, what's... Huh? Oh, they're going to play another Ballista. That could be the only explanation. They could have pumped it up twice. Or they're going to play, like, I don't know, Ugin or something.
UG?
They're not playing land drops, so they have to have, like, some really big card in their hand. As they've been just playing every single turn.
Or there's holding lands. Oh, here it comes.
Sylvan's Crying. Sanctum of Ugin. So now whatever they play, then they're going to get something great. There's Karn. They got Ulamog. Exiling my Trickster. We've seen enough, people. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on! That was rough. Even with 4 deprives. Okay, so cards that are going to be good. We don't have that many stuff. We don't have a lot of stuff to bring in against Tron. How many? We have 26 creatures. We can reduce some Master of Waves, bring in Chalice of the Void.
What would you put it on? 1?
Yep. 1 hits them pretty hard. Still 24 creatures. I could bring in a singleton Hurkyl's Recall just to bounce things like Oblivion Stone and Wormcoil Engine. They're playing with a pretty creature-based version. They're playing with Worldbreaker. It's very creature-based. Venser is like okay. Okay, we'll take out Master Waves, bring in Venser. It's not the greatest, but Master Wave's not the greatest either. Sort of want 1 Hurkyl's Recall. Just the bounce. Just a little bounce. That's all I want, a little bounce. Okay, we'll take out a Harbinger, bring in a Hurkyl's Recall. Oh no, I can take out a land. Yeah, we'll take out the Cavern, I guess. I'll never put Chalice on 2. Or is that what I want to do? I could take out one of the... I could take out the Oboro or something. I'm bringing in Chalice, but I don't want to make Hurkyl's Recall or Deprive worse. Oh, I think it'll be fine. I can take out an island. For bringing in Chalice, I don't want to, like, turn off Benthic Biomancer. Okay, so I get to bring in one other thing. Bring in Harbinger. We'll bring back Harbinger. Okay, we'll submit this. Alright, keep it. It's not beautiful.
I don't know about that. Against Tron, that's what you want to see.
The thing is, like, Spreading Seas can be interacted with. I really miss my Tectonic Edges. Tectonic Edge would have helped a lot in that last game. But at least we're on the play. Get to put some pressure on the board first. Something's crying, so I will hit the mine. Urza's Power Plant. We've got all the interactive cards for, what's it called? Ballista, if it ever shows its ugly face again. Okay, let's get some pressure on before they hit 5 lands and just manually blow up their...
opponent.
Manually trigger the Oblivion Stone. And they can always Nature's Claim this Spreading Seas, so having a second one on the board would be good. And they looked for Power Plant with the Sylvan Scrying, so that's definitely one of the weaker lands. Oh, Benthic Biomancer.
Eggs Benedict.
So we are going to... I guess we can Spreading Seas ahead of time. If I draw another Lord, I'll play it.
Ooh, you do it.
It's a bit awkward with Benthic Biomancer. I don't...
Sorry, Benny. You're going to be a bench warmer.
Am I going to play this? Yeah, I guess I'm going to play Chalice. It's going to slow me down by a bit, though. It's going to slow me down by a lot.
You'll cripple him, though.
Well, I hope.
Expedition maps are gone. Nature's Claim is one.
Okay, let's attack for 2. Yeah, it's going to turn off Nature's Claim, but not right now. They got Chromatic Sphere on the board. Spatial Contortion. Okay.
See you later. How much does Spatial Contortion cost?
2. Okay, we're going to turn off our Benny Boy with the hope that Chalice is going to be useful. It's not like a game-winning card, Chalice of the Void. Like we saw last time I played Chalice against Tron, it like just sort of failed because they just put Tron on the board and then that's it. But a lot of the cards like Chromatic Sphere help find Tron. Thought here. Is this just like Eldrazi Tron and no, this is real Tron. This is a real Tron deck. So they probably have to take Trickster.
Lame. It'd be great if you drew a second one, though. Tap and bounce.
Now, now Ben is just completely shut off by the Chalice of the Void. We might just lose to a bunch of like Eldrazi creatures.
Tap him, come on. Yeah. Cast with flash.
No, I'm gonna let it hit me, and then I'm gonna bounce it at end of turn so that I can draw the card and then perhaps cast that card. If I bounce it now, then they just recast it and take the best card out of my hand. Oh. That's not good. These are all bad things. I would not mind a Cavern of Souls. That's fine. That's useless. Really need an Island Walker. Okay, that works. That works for me. Honestly, now that I see so many creatures, I'm gonna like take out Chalice and just bring in Master of Waves. This is very creature dense for. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're just drawing the creature half of their deck. Oh, they have Tron online. We could be stone dead. Or who knows? Maybe Chalice of the Void is actually working. Oh no, they want to see what's in my hand first? Lord, because they could have Spatial Contortion up. Well, if they have Spatial Contortion up, we lose.
Gotta go for it.
Yeah, we can't wait against Tron. So, like, if they're gonna blow us out with, like, Dismember or Spatial Contortion, then so be it. Then we lose. I guess I'll just keep this island in my hand for now. Bluff something. But this looks really bad. Like anything big kills us.
Somebody has to draw it first.
Still nothing. Well, maybe they have a hand. Maybe Chalice is working.
It's got a bunch of 1-drops. They can't do nothing.
Okay, that was great. That's exactly what we wanted to see.
3, 2.
And I will try to win the game here because I don't. If they didn't have a removal spell last turn, then I don't see any reason why they should have a removal spell this turn. Actually, if they have Dismember, then it won't even matter. Because Dismember will still kill them. They go down to 5, and then 2 of these Island Walkers will win.
He's done.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so maybe Chalice worked. Or they flooded out. I don't know, one of the two.
Who cares? He's dead.
I know Tron decks play like Thought Not Seer, so maybe we just saw like it. It starts to feel like Eldrazi Tron, if you get my drift.
Yeah, because you see an Eldrazi.
We'll take out a Hurkyl's Recall, bring in at least one Master of Waves.
Could Bogle's Tron ever be a thing?
No. Pleasant Kenobi, get on it. Bogle's Tron.
All those auras are colorless, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Okay, never mind then. I don't know nothing.
Submit deck. Maybe I should have another Master of Waves. If anything else, we used all our deprives, and we saved a bunch of lands in game 1. Sounds too risky to keep. We're gonna mulligan.
Hopefully you mulligan. No, I kept. You got a 1-drop.
I do, and I have a bunch of lords, but I have no interaction. Could
be too dangerous to go further.
But you do have a lot of lords. Like, the lords can win. Lords can win more often on the play, though, than on the draw. But then, the problem is, if I go to 5, and if I find interaction, then I probably don't have enough to win the game, unless I have, like, I don't know, spreading Ether Vial into Spreading Seas. It's like, it's close. You could keep this, but I'm going to mulligan it. Sure, I can keep this. There, here, this is... Well, we have to bottom this. But this is good. I can live with this. Oh, good. Turn 1 forest. That does help. Urza's power plant has been found. So maybe we can actually get some pressure on the board and then start countering things. Well, they have to put... They look at the top 5 cards and they're going to put 4 of them on the bottom no matter... Oh, that was a great draw. Please do not have Nature's Claim.
You asked
and
too
then... Much. So this is shaping up quite a bit. Okay, you can Sylvan Scrying. You get under my Spell Pierce this turn. We'll loot this away with Biomancer when we get an opportunity. But we do need another island.
No.
Hell no. No. Absolutely not. What did they find? Cast Sylvan Scrying, find Urza's Mine. Okay, so that's what they were. That's what they got.
Come on, Benny.
Come on, island. My decision is, do I vial in Mass of the Pearl Trident to start a clock, or do I vial in Harbinger afterwards? Do you know what? Maybe I should I'll play the Mass of the Pearl Trident because it gets underneath, or how much is the 1 damage worth?
Right now, very little. It's like the butterfly effect.
Just in case I draw another Lord, I'm gonna play the Lord. I'm just gonna main phase.
It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. I don't know. It doesn't feel very patient. But I don't have a very patient hand. Cause like, I forgot about Ugin. If they just play like Urza's Tower, Ugin, then they wipe the board anyway. Okay, Bluegian Stone, can't do anything about you. These are all good things if I have enough lands to cast them. Well, we do have another Ether Vial. After the board gets wiped. And then at end of turn. Oh no, you're tapping things. Stop tapping things, please. Do not find a threat, because I guess that's what they're looking for. Worm Coil Engine. And they can cast it. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. If we draw a land, we can Spreading Seas and they can't activate Oblivion Stone anymore. Okay, forget all that. I miss Tectonic Edge. Where are you, Tectonic Edge? I need you.
Island,
now we're
please.
losing to a lot of things here. Well, we can slow... So long as the Oblivion Stone doesn't blow everything up, we can Harbinger this thing back to hand for a few turns. Situation's pretty abysmal, though. See, that's the value of Chalice. If we had a Chalice.
Yeah, come on, attack with that thing. Yeah! Biggest mistake of your life. Don't let him gain a life. It's pointless.
Yeah, I guess there's no point. Just activate this, get Harbinger in play, bounce it. If they activate Oblivion Stone, then... Well, they could activate Oblivion Stone. It's not bad right now, because they would get to keep creatures on the board and wipe my board.
What?
I'm just trying to think, is there any way to punish this? Like, could I Spreading Seas into Lord and then attack for almost lethal?
Island, please. Come on. This is insane. Random my ass. This is not random.
Pass. Nothing we can do. We have cards in our hand. We can't cast them. We have good cards in our hand. It's actually interesting to think. If this is the only threat on the board... Okay, I'm gonna get hit by this thing. We can attack back for more than 6. So if this is the game that they want to play, that's fine. And then I want to use this Harbinger when I know I can I can counter this thing. All right. It's been nice knowing everybody, but we've lost. Oh, they're going to play another Worm Coil. They find the Ugin. Oh, maybe they're playing around Spell Pierce. I don't know how to win. I don't know how to win from here.
It's just how the cards are drawn.
I'm not meant to win. Pass.
This is gross.
We countered an Oblivion Stone, didn't we?
Yeah. Turn 2.
Okay, I've had enough of this. All right, that's good. That's good. We can't win. This is impossible.
Not without the islands.
No, we need an island. We were in bad. Well, we were in bad shape. We should have been in worse shape.
One island could turn the whole thing around.
Vantic Biomancer, your adaptability is useless if we can't get the second land to adapt you. And all these cards are useless. Tron is still very serious. I mean, I'm playing with that Cavern of Souls in this list, but you do have to respect Tron. If anyone thinks that they have a good matchup against Tron, it's baloney. It's only a good matchup if we have the tools. Honestly, we do have the tools. Like, having 4 main deck deprives and 2 spell pierces is way more better than having the Tectonic Edge. That should be more than enough interaction. But we just can't cast. We just can't cast anything. Game 3 was just like a complete wash. So like, I don't. The lesson is, sometimes you're just not allowed to win. You just have to lose. I mean, I think we've gone over this lesson many times, but you know, this illustrates it pretty well. I'm not even sure what playing another Ether Vial at any stage of the game would do.
I mean, you could have played the other one like 5 turns ago.
There was maybe one turn where I could play a Harbinger, and then we got 2 Harbingers on the battlefield, and then maybe if I draw a land and play Spreading Seas and draw a Lord, I could win. Maybe, but like, whatever. Sometimes you're just meant to lose.
New markers.
Yeah.
Forgive me. There's a Staples 10 minutes away, but he can't be arsed to go there.
And our opponent's game 1 hand was very, very... I mean, we had a very good hand, and they had just had a better one.
Maybe this is...
We got straight to Tron.
Maybe this is the slobbering idiot Tron player that you described before.
No, I don't think so.
Tron land, Tron land.
You know, I can respect the patience out of the Oblivion Stone. If you don't have to crack it, then don't. There's a lot of patience exercised with it. Although, you know, at 1 land, I'm in a lot of trouble anyway. Well, so anyway, that's going to be it for this week. I'm going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. We're also going to thank themanabase.com for being our sponsor. This has been Nikachu with his brother playing Merfolk in Modern.